In Japanese, anshin means peaceful mind. I picked this word from Daisetsu Suzuki, a Zen scholar. He was saying that the ultimate point of Zen, or perhaps religion, is the peace in mind. I have posted various videos about mind. Matsushita's words, meek mind, or sincere and truthful mind, snow mind in Japanese. He spent so much energy explaining what that is and what it can bring. So there are various people talking about the mind. The mind is not easy to grasp. If I can imagine, it's like a network of little centers here and there, like in the neural network, depending upon where it fires and propagate, the shape, size, all of that will be different. I'm sure there's a physiological response to go with it. The change in the hormone, blood flow, any of that. But at the end, when we say we are conscious, we are dealing with how our mind may function and find the passage to live well. From my meditation and Zen experience, what I found as anshin, the peaceful mind, can be represented in the previous video of this analogy of waves and the ocean. Waves represent the movement of the mind, but at the core is the ocean, quiet, peaceful. I was referring to the skyful of stars in the desert, and me as a finite being watching all those beautiful stars, infinite space, and comparing me and the universe. So waves and the ocean, or me and the sky full of stars, same kind of analogy. And the point of this video is to see the bridging process of how what's in the mind and what's in the universe can have certain relationship. It may look there's no relationship, like a mind and body or mind and heart. Yet there is something that we can connect to. And to me that's awakening or wisdom, compassion. There are various ways to explain, but it's deeper in our mind and opening up as if to connect to the root or the source of who we are, which is the infinite space of universe. We can call it the finite way of what goes on in the mind versus infinite wisdom, which prevails like the laws of the universe everywhere. And this small, minute being and what goes in our mind is also connected to that laws of the universe. Otherwise, you cannot exist, because the laws of the universe means whatever is happening is to follow the laws. Our finite mind cannot see what that is because we are busy. But when we have a chance, opportunity to calm our mind, looking at the stars or looking at what's going on in our body. In meditation, for example, you may have this awakening experience. And what it does to you, or at least for me, is that with that experience, you can see that laws of universe is the home where we came from, where we are, and where we will be. You can use the word God if you like, but I tend to use the word laws of universe or laws of nature because it's a fundamental principle of how this universe is operating from the past to now into the future. You cannot argue with it. So it's the absolute versus limited finite being of who we are. Yet we have the connection if you look at the law manifesting in that thought. And the thought, when it gets settled and quiet, calm, there's a possibility of opening up this connection as a way of wisdom, compassion, insight, ideas, creativity, or awakening. Or you may feel the resonance in your body, transparency, there's no blockages. And the energy field is manifesting for us to be alive. So the point of this, to me, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it, is that sense of being with the source, grounded level, the center of ocean, the law of universe, whatever you call it. And when we have that connection, identity, the bridging the gap, then you are the law of universe. And what's interesting is that there's no mind. It's empty when we have that. That's my awakening experience. And that's the moment that was 22 years ago. But revisiting all different angles, different people, reading books here and there, and Daisetsu pointed out, Eckhart Tolle, and all the wise men in the past, and the Bible, and various sutras point at all different angles. Because using the word is playing with the mind, so how to process that in actual subjective experience, direct experience of what that connection is. Yet through meditation, or perhaps prayer, or faithful mind, be sincere and truthful. And when we realize we come up with a great idea, the insight, the wisdom, often, if not all the time, our mind is calm and quiet, as if something is bubbling up from the deep part of who we are, deep consciousness. In AI analogy, it's deep learning, with all the information out there or in there. Is who we are, and it manifests in various ways. Ideas, insight, awakening, wisdom, compassion, whatever. And we are to see that, how this law of universe manifests and be connected to the root. Then we have this peaceful mind, anshin. And one last point I want to say is that words has limitation, but down deep, there's a sense of firm ground, so to speak, very solid, not in the sense of physical solid, but the completeness of this law of nature, law of universe, that we can connect to. That's when we have this ancient, peaceful mind. We may have perturbation, the waves of mind, but there's always that root, the source, that we can connect to. Then you can revisit or reacquaint ourselves with that source. And there we find ancient, the peaceful mind. Because you are at home, we are at home to the eternal process of the law of universe. And to start with, we came from there. It's just a matter of opening up our mind to connect that, to gain that sense of being at home with peaceful mind. May all beings be happy, whether it's connection through meditation or faith, mind, prayer. There may be various ways, but have that core in us to connect from moment to moment, ideally. But when we lose it, go back there. Then we start to have this relationship with the law of the universe as a base to live our life. That's what I found. And that's what I'm to reaffirm to live my life. Thank you for listening.